Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and we're here with another episode of Castlevania, episode 5. I do apologize for my absence over the past few weeks. I'm a bit behind this whole coronavirus, lockdown and social distancing. It's really taking a toll. I've had to, it's been a busy few weeks trying to set up to work from home, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of the few persons who can actually do that. So for that much, I'm grateful. So I've been working from home and um, somewhat more demanding than actually working from the office. Weirdly enough, um, people take it for granted now to call you and to contact you at all hours of the day, not just during work hours. Although to be fair, I do. Being from home, it's tough not to procrastinate and push things back and delay, and so it's been a tough few weeks. I do hope everyone is staying safe out there. But I am back and I'm doing my best to try to catch up now. There are a ton of new stuff out that I do want to check out. So we're going to be trying to catch up as quickly as possible so we can move on from there. All right. So last time on Castlevania, we had more glorious Isaac. I can never get more. I can never get enough of Isaac. It's clear at this point that he's going to be one of the more prominent characters this season. We caught up with Hector and Lenore, which is just not going the way I thought it would. Hector is definitely considering, working with Carmilla and her team for money, or for some reward, right? Because he wouldn't have been getting that from Dracula. And to her credit, Lenore has been doing a good job manipulating him, and he's been doing a great job being a fool. So, not much has changed as far as Hector is concerned. He's the only character that has not grown. He's still, if I remember correctly, how Isaac described him, he's still a child, And he did raise the question whether the Forge Masters can give control of their creatures to someone else. The question was raised. Um, hmm, there hasn't been anything to suggest that throughout the past seasons, as far as I can recall. But I'm now that it's he now that it's something that's recurring. I am beginning to wonder whether Hector will in fact um, give control of his creatures to Lenore, and then they'll just kill him. I can see it happening. I think he's dumb enough to do it, and in some ways he may be developing some affections towards Lenore. I don't think hers are genuine, but I think he might, because he's just that lovesick puppy character, and he can't help himself. So I can't wait for Isaac to get there and all havoc and chaos and just get rid of them all. Right. Of course, we caught up with the Saint Germain, of course, and Trevor and Sappho as well at the Priory, and Saint Germain, another interesting character, of course, who has proven that he has knowledge way beyond his years, and I am beginning to wonder whether he's in fact now immortal. He did say it, but I thought he said it in jest a few episodes ago. I'm sorry, Jermaine, the immortal, but I'm beginning to wonder whether or not he is immortal, just not a vampire, but he's kept himself alive by some other mystical means. A lot of mysteries, a lot of questions in the last episode, and I can't wait for them to be answered. So, episode 5, let's check it out.
What the hell are you doing with your life? I'm talking to you, Trevor Belmont, of House Belmont with no living relatives. It is you.
I'm wondering whether that will change.
Last surviving
maybe he's not so much the last Belmont.
From out here.
How did he even survive to begin with? The Purge. How did he survive to be the last Belmont?
Hell, you've spent your entire
Thinking
adult
about giving
life
it up
being
and going to
hated
settle
by
down
everybody you
with
ever
Cypher.
met. And you were fine with that. You even liked it.
You have Cypher and Alucard.
That was yours. And then what? A pretty girl holds your hand and takes you to bed, and all of a sudden...
And all of a sudden, your world changes and you don't know what to think about.
Judge.
Sorry.
You're following me, were you?
This is my little place of peace. Sometimes I have to walk outside the town to be able to see it properly.
That's some deep
So,
shit, man.
You're an actual Belmont. I grew up with stories about your family.
Scary bedtime stories.
Mostly. Yes. Well,
Oh, whose fault is
Underdogs
that
are a
though?
basic kind
You
of
all
people.
drove them out.
You're not one of them.
Not really. You can't be part of the town and also rule it. To be a leader, you will always be
An
held
outsider.
apart from the rest of your world.
You're
I
just
was born
dropping,
here,
dropping
so I
the
can't
wisdom.
claim to be a Lindenfelder. And my family and I left when I was young. We moved to the capital, you see. I remember thinking as we left,
Places have a strange way of catching back up with you.
I suppose so. Like some roads are circular. I rose in the court at the capital and did just well enough that I was sent back here to head the town.
In my experience, no good deed goes unpunished. Do you miss the capital? I only
So, how long have you and Cypher been traveling together?
couple of months.
Okay.
We were supposed to
I
go
thought
and
it was
rejoin her
30
caravan.
days. How long have they been here?
Things happened along the way. And at some point, we decided to just keep moving, I suppose.
Well, it doesn't sound like you decided much of anything.
I suppose not.
He's here for a reason.
Wait,
What?
that wasn't there yesterday.
Are you sure that's not just some kid fucking around with his first knife?
Children do not run around defacing property with knives in my town. In fact, they don't run around at all if I can help it.
Ask Cypher what the symbol
This is
means.
my town, Belmont.
They did say that they're doing
my
some
job to pay
sort of
attention to
magic,
it.
and maybe this is a
I
part of
have
it.
to say,
Wow. Place looks tidier than it was last. No shit in the corner. Time to go snooping. What the hell is that?
it's here. It's really here.
He's looking for something. I guess that helps him to trace it. Kind of gives off the same color as that monster that dropped into the prairie.
You were told where to stay.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be that
Saint-Germain.
easy.
And I absolutely am.
Except that you appear to be in front of me.
Well, terribly embarrassing.
Looking for the
really. I was
bathroom.
looking for somewhere discreet to urinate.
Go outside like everyone else.
Of course.
Why do you think I would believe you were looking for somewhere to piss down here?
It's a believable story.
Well, I recently spent time in the
Outside.
outside, indeed.
Public toilets. Does this really look like a palace to you?
Better luck next time, Jermaine.
Hello.
Hello?
I've been watching the Priory for a while now.
Have you? That's nice. Since you are a speaker, I imagine that distracted you from the usual speaker pursuits of memorizing limericks, boiling vegetables, and casually reproducing.
I am a speaker. Good eye. I see that only the monks enter or leave the Priory,
Except you.
except for you.
Well, I am very special.
You're also a magician. I have two eyes too.
Ah.
I'd prefer not to speak of that. I've been unconscionably rude. I also recognize a threat when I hear it.
I imagine you're used to them.
I've disrespected you, and I apologize. I am Count Saint-Germain.
There's bad magic being done in that place, Saint-Germain. What exactly is it?
All right. There is a thing I am in search of inside the Priory.
didn't
It is
expect him
occult
to
in nature.
volunteer
It is
that
quite safe if
information that
operated
easily.
wisely. So I would respectfully ask that you go forth and...
Stop.
Ah, she noticed it. Finally.
Oh, that's worrying. You've seen the armbands they wear.
Yes. And now I see. How did they come by the sign they wear on the armbands?
They say their visitor gave it to them, the night creature that attacked the priory.
Did it give them this one too? What in the name of God is going on in there?
God? I understood you speakers to have quite the... I'm honestly not certain. I am focused entirely on my personal goal. They're all quite mad, but this does seem... odd.
Odd. Is seeing that mark twice in one day.
Ah, I'd like you to meet my new friend, the Count Saint Germain.
I need a drink. Do you need a drink, Saint Germain?
I do not.
Yes, you do. Let's all go to the tavern and have a quiet little chat.
I'd prefer something more...
There won't be any monks in the tavern. And it's just public enough to stop me slitting your throat. Or Cypher setting you on fire. Move.
Well, you wouldn't.
But she would
But
set
I
you on
could
fire.
kill you by looking at you.
Come,
Training time.
show me how you attack.
What I don't understand though
But you wouldn't let me
is
have my bow.
they were powerful enough to take down Cho's guards, who I'm assuming were actually vampires as well.
Archers run out of arrows all
So
the
I
time.
mean, what
I want to see how
help
good
could
you
they
are when it
possibly
comes down
want
to a
from
blade.
you? They said they couldn't beat Cho because I'm assuming she's too powerful because she was one of Dracula's generals, but they seem quite capable already. They just can't defeat ancient and very old, powerful vampires.
Why is your sword so long? I can't get close.
You want to get close? Never let a vampire in close. I'm half vampire. Half of me wants you to step in close.
Anything goes, right?
Fumi?
I don't think this should be fun, guys. This is supposed to be training.
You have both just been eaten by vampires.
No? We captured him and made him our slave. Make lunch now.
But I do like that you've remembered how to still be human.
This human could eat lunch too.
All right. Fine.
She's getting awfully close with
After that,
Alucard.
we'll see what's in the
Are
army
they
that might
supposed to
suit
be
you better.
brothers
And
rather
then
than sisters?
we
I
may
don't
talk
remember
about
if they
simple
actually
combat
said.
spell.
I don't know if I trust them quite yet. I want to, but in this world everyone is suspicious.
Are you really an ale drinker, young magician?
I'm developing a taste for the rougher things in life.
She means me.
I mean him.
Well, a rounded education is a good thing. The stories I could tell you about my days in the slums of Paris.
Germain, the Priory. What's your interest?
I do not trust people, generally. But speakers are honorable.
And
The
Belmonts.
pedigree of the... Have you heard of the Infinite Corridor?
Yes.
I haven't.
I suppose this was the wrong company to unveil ancient occult secrets in and expect to be impressive.
Our remembered stories conflict. Some say the Infinite Corridor is a pathway to other worlds.
Only one of my family ever encountered it. She said it was like a door into countless levels of hell. It was in a castle in Livonia. She knocked the castle down.
Your family tends to be destructively direct, but you're both right. The Infinite Corridor is a route to many other worlds. It is in fact a system of doors to other lands, separated from our own by space and time. A long time ago,
Other lands.
I lost someone very dear to me in the Infinite Corridor.
So you've seen
I
it.
have been looking for a way back in ever since. Portals to the corridor are few and far between, and they drift in and out of existence. There is a portal to the Infinite Corridor under the Priory. They haven't let me go down there yet, but I know it's there.
Lithomancy.
Indeed. The jewel has guided me. Of course, if I'd known there was a portal under a pile of stones in fucking Livonia, I wouldn't have had to traipse across the entire gaping grey arsehole of Eastern Europe to trick my way past a gaggle of mad monks, would I? Ugh, Christ alive. Do you people shit on the grapes?
Said he lost someone in
crazy horde.
So is he from a different world? I would explain his
at this table.
talk
Just
of
stay out of my
immortality.
way. That's all I ask.
You don't want to see it, do you?
A night creature landed on a priory that has a portal to other worlds under it. What if that was not an accident?
What if it never left?
Well... shit.
Alright, so the mystery continues. I would say no Isaac, no Lenore, or nothing from the castle or Isaac or Hector or anything like that. So this was purely focused on Trevor and Cypher and Jermaine, which is good because they've kind of been we've been back and forth over the past few episodes, jumping from one scene to the next, but we haven't gotten a lot of information about what's happening in the Priory. So this was a good episode to kind of give us a bit of backstory and why Saint Germain is here. He said he lost someone. But at the same time, though, I'm not sure. I want to believe the first thing that came to mind for me actually was Dracula's resurrection. Right, I've said sometime now throughout the first few episodes that I think Isaac and Hector will somehow be the ones to resurrect Dracula. Right, they're both conjurers, and there's been a focus on they're both Forge Masters. I mean, and there's been a focus on Forge Masters, on what they're capable of, and how their abilities, how they came by their abilities since the season started. They haven't given us all the details, but we had a conversation with Isaac earlier about him learning it, and it taking him many years to learn, and the fact that vampires cannot learn it. It requires a human connection and all of that. So that little bit of detail stuck with me, and I'm like, okay, it must have been there for a reason. And now we've been told about this infinite corridor, which is a portal to different worlds. One of which could potentially be hell, but according to Jermaine, it's a portal to different worlds. It doesn't, not necessarily to hell. And with this night creature that landed in the Priory, is it a case that the creature actually came from the portal and it was trying to get back, or I don't know. There's still so many questions, still a lot of mystery surrounding it. Was the portal there before or after the night creature landed there? But he attempted to make his way downstairs. He didn't get through. I don't think they're trying to avoid brute force and violence, but I don't think there's any way to get the answers they need without going head to head with the monks of the Priory. There's no other way to go about it. All right, they obviously guard it quite carefully, and they're just not going to get the information they need until they go head to head with the Priory. So it's just a matter of when, not if it actually happens. But it definitely adds a layer of complexity to Castlevania itself. So if this is a portal not just to hell but different worlds, is Saint Germain from a different world? Because he said he lost someone there, which means he has seen the infinite corridor, or he has passed through it. He did mention that he's immortal at some episodes ago. So is he from a different world and he just happened to come to this one? His personality is certainly, odd and very unusual. It could be that he's from some different world, or different dimension, or something to that effect. But I suspect one of two things: either the monks are trying to resurrect Dracula, so they want the portal to hell to resurrect Dracula, and maybe they'll be the ones to resurrect Dracula, and not so much Hector and Isaac. Or they want to bring hell on Earth, which is the most, that would be a bit more cliche, a bit more predictable. But It could definitely happen. Could definitely happen. But I mean, this is definitely the bigger looming threat that we need to be worried about. For the past few episodes, we've been focused on, you know, the plan of Carmilla and her sisters, and you know, them taking over a huge, massive land, and you know, having humans, essentially rearing humans, and monitoring the border to ensure that they have a supply of food, you know. But at the same time, this seems to be the threat that's the most important thing to be focused on now. But Carmilla and her armies is nothing to scoff at right now either. So there are two threats happening right now, and our team, Sci-Fi and Trevor, they have no idea what is happening with Carmilla. They have no idea that she's planning on creating her own army with Hector's help, to conquer the lands to the west. But they don't have any idea about any of that, and Carmilla herself doesn't know anything about what's happening in the Priory. So I guess I'm a bit confused as to whether or not these two storylines will actually clash, whether they will crash into each other at some point, because right now we're at episode 5 and they're nowhere near each other. Carmilla's nowhere near, you know, Trevor and Cypher's location now, and they aren't aware of each other. I think Trevor and Cypher assume that all of Dracula's generals died, and she doesn't care less about Trevor and Cypher right now, at the very least. So are we just going to be following two different storylines, and they'll resolve themselves individually? So Isaac will face off against Carmilla and Hector, and Trevor and Cypher will face off against these prairie monks and this otherworldly demon, whatever the case might be. And those two storylines will not cross at any point. So I'm curious to know whether or not those two storylines will actually merge, or we'll be following two different storylines for the remainder of the season. And perhaps one will be resolved this season, and the other will end on a cliffhanger and prepare us for the next season. So that's interesting. I would go with the latter, and I do believe, if it ties back into my theory about Dracula being resurrected, it won't necessarily happen this season, but it could be that what gets resolved this season is Hector and Isaac and Carmilla's storyline. But for Sci-Fi and Trevor's storyline here with the Infinite Corridor, it will end on a cliffhanger with Dracula being resurrected as a setup for the season 4, right? That would be my prediction, and definitely I'm expecting Dracula to return. Right? He can't not return, right? So that's my theory for the end of this season. But definitely another enjoyable episode. I do miss Isaac, and hopefully we get to catch up with him the next episode. Alright guys, be sure to post down below, let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.